Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Journey of the Master podcast. Today, we are talking about a topic that gets so much attention, and one of those things that we get asked about so often. What is my role in this great awakening that is happening on the planet at this time? We're going to talk about the Great Awakening. We're going to talk about the different phases of the Great Awakening and what your role is in the great awakening of our beloved human family happening on earth at this time. I'm Sara Landon. I'm so happy to be here with you. And we have so many people joining us live. Hello, hello from all over the world. We have Australia, Montana, New Zealand, Las Vegas, the Netherlands, California, Montreal. Hello. Hi, Beth in Oregon, New York City. Hi, Randy. Hi, Peggy in Idaho. Milwaukee. Oh my goodness. Sedona, the Virgin Islands, all over the world, Brazil. Wow. This is amazing. So happy to see you all. Truly, people are waking up all over the world, and you're going to find that your friends, your families, your coworkers, people that you may have never expected are going to start awakening at an expedited rate. And you have a very important role in this incredible transformation that's happening on the planet in human consciousness at this time. What could be more fun to talk about than that? So, thank you for being here. Saudi Arabia, hello, Mexico, Cleveland, Greece. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. Indonesia. We truly are a global community. And no matter where you are in the world, you are precisely placed where you are meant to be to shine your light and be the incredible love that you are. So, thank you for being here. As you can see, my newest book, The Dream, The Journey, Eternity, and God, is now available on audiobook, ebook, and paperback. It's co-authored with my dear friend and New York Times best-selling author, Mike Dooley. If you are new to me and maybe just came across the book, The Dream, The Journey, Eternity, and God, you might also love The Wisdom of the Council, which is our first best-selling book, also available on audiobook, paperback, and ebook. So let's dive into that. Let's dive into this conversation about the Great Awakening. And I'm going to go back just a little ways here. Most of us in this community that are drawn to this type of information are aware of this term awakening to who you really are, why you are here, and more that is going on here in this human experience. It may begin with one simple question that is inspired by maybe a loss of a loved one, the loss of a relationship, the loss of a job or a business, a near death experience, or a health scare where you're facing your own mortality and questioning life. And that question tends to be, who am I? Who am I really? Why am I here? What is my purpose? What is really going on? That question, who am I, begins to start the process. The process begins of awakening. For some people, it's a long process. For some people, it's quite spontaneous and rapid. And some people wake up in the matter of a few hours or a moment or days. And for some people, it's a longer experience. We talk about this a lot on the Journey of the Master podcast. You can find out a lot more information about this, but it really is that question. And for me, I'll just give you a little bit of my own experience of my own great awakening. I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to do or should do. I had a great career in the corporate world. I had amazing clients. I worked for an incredible organization. We had built a technology company and sold it to a global company. I was traveling around the world. And all along that time frame, I had things that kept occurring, although on the outside, it looked like I might have been living this seamless, amazing life. On the inside, I was asking that question, who am I? Why am I here? There's got to be more to life. And my awakening experience, I believe, began in 2001 when my brother died suddenly in a car crash. It was the first time someone close to me had ever died. It was the first time I had ever seen a dead body. And it was extremely shocking to have it be someone so close to me, someone that I thought would always be there for me my entire life. In fact, just a few months prior to him passing, I remember saying to someone, I know I'll always get through the difficult things, like when my mom passes away someday, because I'll always have my brother there. And now my rock was gone and a seemingly in a moment. And I began to question everything. That was my first experience of ever communicating with non physical. You can hear that in some of my other podcasts, but I share that also in my book, The Wisdom of the Council, my experience when my brother passed. I was sitting there at his viewing. And all of a sudden, this energy came over me in this heavy, cold, emotional room. And all of a sudden, I was completely and totally in peace. And I heard my brother say over my right shoulder, "I'm still here. I'm just not in there." And there was a love like nothing I had ever felt before. And I wanted to connect with that again. And in that moment, I could let go of everything I thought I knew, everything I thought I believed to be true, everything I had been taught, and begin to ask the bigger questions, which I believe was the beginning of my awakening experience. I wanted to just go back to my normal life. I didn't really want to talk about it to anyone. I didn't think anyone would understand, but I so desperately wanted to connect to that love that I felt for my brother again. Within a few years, my entire life began to seemingly fall apart. I was diagnosed with a very serious, life threatening type of cancer at 26 years old. I healed up from that and ended up getting a divorce and going through that very difficult process after creating a great amount of success in my business, which is all that I ever dreamed of achieving in my life. I was so clearly guided that I had to leave that and step out on a path that was absolutely unknown, uncomfortable, and didn't seem logical to anyone else around me. This was my awakening experience. And for me, it was a multiple year journey. I've talked about this in other episodes of this podcast where people have asked the question about the dark night of the soul. And I can certainly relate. But the council, who I channel, which I will be bringing in here for a live channel message for us at the end of this podcast today, continually said to us that this dark night of the soul, whether it lasts a short period of time or a long period of time, or you do not experience it at all as part of the awakening, is definitely and always related to your level of self love. So for me, everything I thought I was, everything I defined myself to be, was seemingly falling apart. My marriage, my financial success, my health, having that fear of really understanding that in any moment your life could change. Having my brother pass away, I remember for years, anytime the phone rang, I just got this pit in my stomach of, oh no, what could that possibly be? Remembering back to the moment of getting the call about my brother. And so when we are in these places of everything we think we are or have identified as or thought was our success or thought was our role in life begin to fall apart, we often deny love for ourselves. We deny our worthiness. We often feel guilt, shame. I know I felt like I had screwed up my whole life and nobody really understood at that time why I had left my career, why I had left my marriage, why I was stepping out on this path and really had no idea where I was going. So, this is a pretty similar story, I think, to many in your awakening experience. The things that used to motivate you no longer motivate you. The thing you maybe always wanted to do no longer has any energy anymore. You have been identifying in a particular role as a parent or a spouse or a family member or an employee, and now none of those really fit you anymore. To me, this awakening experience is when you start to ask this question of, who am I? beyond everything I thought I knew myself to be. And I think there's a Paulo Coelho, the author of The Alchemist, who I remember sharing a quote one time that maybe this isn't about becoming anything, but maybe it's about unbecoming everything you thought you were supposed to be. Pretty good definition, I think, of awakening. So, from awakening to living in a more awakened state, awakened to love, awakened to peace, awakening to higher levels of consciousness and awareness, awakening to your own personal power and freedom. And from awakening, we move into realization. And if you're like me, prior to moving into realization and the experience or the journey of realization, I didn't really know what that word meant or how it applied in my life or how it would make me any happier. But once you start coming to the awareness of that word, you start to want to know more. You draw to you more awareness, and you really will move yourself into an experience of realization. So, for many of us, we have been on this awakened path for some time, and maybe you are newly awakened. It's all perfect. You have moved into your awakening experience at precisely the perfect time when it is meant to be for you. So trust that and also know that you're exactly where you're meant to be. This time, right now, is the great awakening of our beloved human family. We are going to see people around us in our families, our friendships, our communities, our places of business awakening at an expedited rate and wanting to understand, wanting answers to their questions, wanting to know their purpose. And you might be one of these as well, who is wondering, what is my purpose? What is my role? Why did I go through all of this? Why did I go into the awakening experience when I did? And truly, it's all perfect. You are on a journey. There is a grander plan here. You are part of that plan. Most people then begin to ask the question, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be doing something. And I can certainly relate with that. And there is no one up there, out there judging you that you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong. I can just tell you from my own experience, when you truly step in the role that you are here to play in this great awakening, when you step into your authentic, powerful self, you will live a life beyond your wildest dreams with more joy, more fulfillment, more love, more abundance, more well being than you can ever imagine. I can tell you, if you feel like your whole life is falling apart, it is not falling apart. It is falling into place. But I certainly can understand why it feels that way. I knew when I had cancer that it wasn't meant to kill me. I knew that it was a healing mechanism to step into my truth. Even though I dearly loved my husband at the time, I knew that he wasn't the person that was going to go on that journey to answering those questions of who am I, why am I here, and what is my purpose. And everything that I had classically trained to do, spent years of building in my career and company and with my clients in the technology field, all of a sudden, none of that motivated me. None of that felt like where I belonged anymore. Even though I loved my clients and the people I worked with and my team, I knew I would be, should be, was supposed to be, had some greater role. And I needed to find out what that was. So, a few years ago, we did a course, a channeled course called The 11 Spiritual Roles of the Soul. And for me and many in our community, this was an absolutely life changing course that allowed us to see our role in the Great Awakening from a much bigger perspective. It also answered the questions as, why are certain people drawn to healing modalities? Why are certain people drawn to doing channeling? Why are certain people drawn to sacred geometry or light language? Why are certain people more a dreamer or a visualizer, where other people are more action oriented or involved in building things in the physical world? And all of this was answered with the 11 spiritual roles of the soul and helping us to understand the roles that we are here to play as awakened beings moving into awakening, realization, enlightenment, whatever feels good to you, at this time on the planet during the greatest transformation of human consciousness that has ever occurred. So, you might hear me talk often about being a way shower. It is one of the spiritual roles of the soul. You are here to awaken to the truth of who you are, and then to be a way shower for all those who are ready to awaken to the love and the light and the power and the freedom and the truth within them too. So I would venture to say, if you're here and you're part of our community and you have found this video, you yourself are a way shower, not a way demander, not a way teller, not a way forcer, but a way shower to step into creating your reality the way you want it to be, to step into living your best life, and then showing others what is possible for them too. Many people identify as being a healer. And while I began bringing messages through from the council, someone said to me very early on, "Oh, you're a healer." And that never really resonated with me. I knew some really amazing healers, but I didn't feel like that was my particular role. Well, a healer is one of the spiritual roles of the soul. And some people are here in a capacity of healing other people. Some people's role is to heal themselves. Other people's role is the healing of animals or the land. And by healing, I don't mean to imply that we are not whole and complete and perfect and divine just as we are. Because when we really step into the truth of who we are whole, we are complete. We are in the perfection of who we really are. But there may be things in your emotional body, in your spiritual body, in your physical body, in different parts of your experience that you can bring through a greater level of light and consciousness where healing can occur. And there's some amazing healers out there. Many times people will come to me and say, I discovered this incredible ability to heal, and heal others, but I don't have a certification. I don't know if I'm have the right to do this, right? And you don't know, you might have spent lifetimes or came here specifically with this particular gift. I recently watched a beautiful movie based on a true story called Adeline. It is about a horse that is a healing horse, and they were bred from a particular lineages of horses that had an amazing story about how they healed people. It was a really beautiful movie. I know if you're an animal lover like me, I've had many special animals in my life that played the role of a healer. And so this may be your role in the Great Awakening. You may have wanted to be a doctor when you were a child or a nurse. We have so many people in our community that were doctors, that were nurses, and many that still are, that really feel called to caring for the well being and bringing forth healing on the planet during this time. So that may very well be your role in the Great Awakening. Another role is the messenger. And we have had almost 5,000 people go through our Art of Channeling course around the world to discover their own ability to bring through messages from source or their own councils or collectives or the soul. And many, many people find that they too are messengers of higher levels of consciousness, a grander perspective, messages from spirit. So this is the role of a messenger. And while I never had any particular classic training of how to channel, it happened in a very incredible experience during a QHHT session where the council came through. And yet I never would have imagined, when leaving my corporate world and asking the question, who am I, and transforming my whole life, that someday I would be sitting in front of you channeling a group of non-physical beings called the council. So messenger is one of those roles. Another one is a seer. I get this question a lot. Some people have the ability to see auras. Some people have the ability to see spirit. Some people see energy. Not everyone has that same experience. You may not have ever had that experience, but after becoming aware that this is one of the roles that you may be playing here in the Great Awakening, you might start opening up to more that is possible for you. I personally don't have that experience. I know people that have had extraordinary experiences seeing energy, seeing people's auras, those types of things, but we don't all play the same role. Just like in your human life, we're not all doctors, we're not all nurses, we're not all accountants, right? We're playing different roles. A visualizer is another one of those spiritual roles. And this is the person who is visualizing a better world, visualizing more that is possible. They may be someone who visualizes the design or a new type of design for buildings. Visualizers are those people that can go into their imagination and they see very clearly. Oftentimes, when I do visualizations or meditations that are guided in nature, it is about visualizing certain things. And some people will say, I don't see anything in my imagination or when I go into visualization processes, where other people have very, very vivid visualization experiences. I am one of those people who can see visions very, very clearly and see it as complete. And part of our role as visualizers is to hold that vision. And while we may not manifest all of it in this moment or in this day or in this year, over time, as you are a visualizer and holding that vision of what it is that you see in your imagination or in higher realms of consciousness, that begins to move into the physical world. In fact, the council says everything that's ever been created in this earth experience came from those who can visualize or see what exists in higher levels of consciousness. Pretty amazing. Oh, dreamers. Now, this is another one. Visualizers and dreamers kind of similar. A dreamer is that person that can create incredible art, that can look at a canvas and see a dream or a masterpiece, and they can paint it. They are maybe a sculptor. They bring beauty. I remember hearing after I think some of the darkest times on the planet, it has always been those who were into art, Renaissance, music, dance, color that brought humanity out of dark times. So they leave an incredible inspiration on this earth with their creations of art and beauty and paintings, music, potentially, those types of things. Dreamers are very important to this great awakening experience. Another one is an uplifter. And when the council first shared this role, I thought of a dear friend of mine, and she is just an uplifter. She walks into a room and everything's more fun. She always has a big smile on her face. She's always fun and playful. She always wants to have a particular theme for every party we have. She always wants to dress up. She is an uplifter. You're just around her and you feel uplifted. And I remember thinking that, well, here's the people in my life that are uplifters. This is a very important role in the Great Awakening. We're going to talk about a question that came in about how do you raise your vibration? And it's directly correlated to being an uplifter and to embodying that role as an uplifter. I'll also give the example of a connector. Connector are those people that are always connecting people. For example, a friend of yours who is the one who's always fixing everyone up. They think about a particular person. They go, oh, I've got to fix you up with so-and-so. I've got to introduce you to so-and-so, whether it's romantic relationship or friendship or potential business partnership. They're the ones always connecting people. Well, I thought of a few people in my life, like John Burgos, the host of the Beyond the Ordinary show, who has a particular platform that he's built bringing speakers and spiritual teachers to his audience. So he's connecting new teachers, new speakers to new people that are looking for that information. And as new people come into his organization, he's introducing them to new people that they may resonate with as their next guide or teacher on their spiritual path. I have a great friend, Alex Ferrari, who's host of Next Level Soul, who I have done several interviews for here on YouTube. And he is bringing his incredible interviews of people who've had near-death experiences and other channels like myself to an audience. These are connectors. So I bring these two things up, the uplifter and the connector, because I'm going to answer a particular question here. Can you gain the skills of another role? So for me, well, I really identified with a wayshower and a messenger and that of a visualizer. I thought of other people as being a connector. I thought of other people as being an uplifter. As my awareness about this role that we play in the Great Awakening continued to expand, the awareness came to me, why would I not be a connector too? Why would I not look for opportunities to be an uplifter as well? So you can explore these roles. You can play in these roles. And just because you could think of someone who is one of these particular roles, maybe more so than you think you are, it's your opportunity to step into these roles consciously and intentionally. I then began to say, why do I think of someone else as the person who should be the uplifter? If that's something that resonates with me and is important to me, why don't I look at being that and embodying that in my own life and in my own experiences? The same is true with a connector. While I always thought of people in my life that were connectors, I decided to consciously and intentionally start being a connector myself. I looked for opportunities to connect people in my community, to connect people that I knew with other people. And I have so many incredible stories of doing this and the most amazing things happening from that. I can remember two people that I connected, and they ended up doing a very successful course together. And they gifted me many, many things as a result of that up-leveled my life, really, because of what they had co-created through that connection made. And it was all about consciously and intentionally embodying that role as a connector. So the other one is a transformer. There's a couple more roles here that I'll share with you. The transformer. And I'm just going to tell you one particular story about this. I have a very dear friend who is part of our community who often struggled on her awakening journey. She was born into a very, very abusive situation and often wondered, why would I ever choose this role? Why would I ever have come here and chose to come into this level of abuse? And during the course, the 11 spiritual roles of the soul, the council went into what a transformer is. Transformers are often these old, wise, courageous, brave souls that step into situations or family dynamics where there is lineages or ancestral patterns of abuse or negativity, alcohol abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, negativity, limited beliefs. And they come to a moment where they say, no more. This stops with me. They are transformers. And one particular person that I remember that comes to mind as well had been raised in a very alcoholic family, a lot of alcohol and drug abuse all throughout her childhood. And she followed in that pattern. And as a teenager, was doing drugs and alcohol, turned to that as her outlet or escape. And at some point, she had an experience and she said, no more. This stops with me. She went to got professional help, stopped drinking, stopped doing drugs. Years later, she's a mother and a grandmother, and she did not bring any of that negativity or that unconscious abuse pattern into her life with her children or with her grandchildren. So transformers are very powerful people, and it may help explain to you why you've gone through certain things in your own life. Another one is a coder. And this is one that I see people all the time with the most incredible gifts. Coders are ones who can recognize or create awakening codes, who see or hear awakening codes. I believe those who speak light language are coders. They are receiving awakening codes through sound that they're bringing through to the planet. Other people who may be doing geometric shapes or patterns, people that are recognizing codes within anything in the human experience. People who may do work with crystals or numerology or astrology and other things may identify with being a coder. They're bringing forth awakening codes or embodying awakening codes that are coming through during this time of the Great Awakening. So I think I've got all of them here: messenger, healer, seer, visualizer, transformer, dreamer, connector, uplifter, coders, wayshowers, and the last one is guides. I can think of many people in my community who were living a seemingly normal life and all of a sudden had a spontaneous awakening experience, and some point in time received a message that they were here to be an awakening guide, a guide into higher dimensions, a guide into fifth dimension, a guide into the new earth. And you may be going, what are you talking about? So guides are those, which are probably most all of you listening, who step into higher levels of consciousness and become a bridge between higher and lower levels of consciousness, bringing higher levels of consciousness into lower level of consciousness, and being that bridge from lower levels of consciousness into higher levels of consciousness. Also guiding people through your own experience and your own journey, guiding people through awakening, guiding people through those types of experiences. And at first, many people in my community, when we did the 11 spiritual roles of the soul, didn't really think they were a guide. And then within a period of time, they realized that they were this. And this is one of the things that I most want to bring to your awareness as part of your role here in the Great Awakening. Because if you are listening to this, you are on a spiritual path, you are on an awakened path, you are raising your vibration, stepping into higher levels of consciousness, and you're going to start seeing, as I said, people around you having these awakening experiences and coming to you. You are not here to fix them. You are not here to save them. You are not needing to help them because they can't do it on their own. You are empowered. You are strong, you are courageous, you are love, you are light, and you can guide them. All you have to really be is one step ahead of wherever they may be on their journey. Maybe you guide them to a book, maybe you guide them to a podcast, maybe you guide them through something that you say, maybe you guide them through being a powerful, present listener. Maybe you guide them by being that embodiment of love. It's a very important role. And I think on some level, we're all here as guides. Some of us have a platform where we're writing books and doing YouTube and podcasts and websites and those particular things. But as the council tells us, your life is your platform. Your life is your platform to guide all those who are ready in this experience of the Great Awakening. Remember that love is the most powerful transformational force in all of the universe. Love is what changes things. Love is the ultimate power behind any change. When you feel like you want to change someone, when you feel like you want to fix it, when you feel like you want to help them, first fully embody the love that you are. Remember the love that they are too. While some people really want to change, ultimately, we all want to be loved. We all want to discover that pure love, unconditional, unwavering love within us that our soul has for us, that source has for us. And each of us can embody that and play a powerful role in this great awakening experience that is happening at this time. So, um, so a question here. I thought I was here to be a mother and now I'm a grandmother. Was that my purpose? Well, it certainly can be your purpose. Some people have that desire. I have a dear friend and she's always wanted to be a mother. She's always wanted to have many, many children. She's always wanted to be a grandmother. And she's an uplifter. She's a wayshower. She's a guide. She's a healer. She's a lot of other roles. So I consider these the spiritual roles where being a mother and a grandmother may be your physical role or your human role. You can be all of those things and move your awareness to embodying other roles that you're here to play as well. So ultimately, we are our purpose. That which you most want for anyone that you love is your opportunity to embody it for yourself. If you are one of those people where you just want beauty in the world, you like to have a beautiful home, you like to set a beautiful table, you like to dress beautifully, part of your purpose is to be here and embody beauty, to bring beauty to the world. That's part of your purpose. And whatever it is that you most want for others, it's really your purpose to embody it in every moment for yourself, but because that is the essence of what you most want for the world around you. So, great question. Next question. I am more than one of these. As such, I would like to believe that it's not only normal, but wonderful. Yes. I identify with being many of these different things. And in different moments, I can consciously, intentionally connect into, oh, in this moment, I am really stepping into that role in my present moment of being an uplifter. Or I may have a moment where I'm in my present powerful moment and I know I'm bringing through an important message. Other times, I know I'm being a guide, and it may be just referring, not just how powerful it can be to refer someone sometime to a book, to a movie, to a YouTube video, to a podcast, to a group, to a person. I believe we all can embody these roles at different times, even though when you first hear, for example, the role of a messenger, you might go, oh, that's me. I really know I'm here to be a messenger and part of this great awakening. Or I really know I'm meant to be a healer. I've had many people that have no formal training, no awareness, a particular person in our community who was in financial management and had a very successful business, and all of a sudden discovered through his own health challenges and health challenges with people around him that he was a healer. He had no awareness of that until he entered into this awakening journey and began to rediscover all of the abilities, gifts, powers, and talents that he had. People often ask, how do I discover my abilities or my talents? I'm going to just tell you the simplest thing. The more you love yourself, the more you love yourself and know that you're worthy, the more your gifts and abilities will be revealed to you. And it may be connected to something that you wanted to be as a child. It may be something that comes that you had never considered or thought of before. But the more you love yourself, the more you value yourself, the more you are really aligned to your own worthiness, the more your abilities and gifts and talents begin to be rediscovered by you. So when I went through my own awakening experience and everyone around me was, what are you doing? You left your corporate job and what are you doing? You're channeling? What the heck are you doing? Right. And I questioned myself. I didn't know my own worth without a particular job title and status and income and house and those types of things. I didn't know. And so I didn't think I was as worthy without those things. I didn't practice self love at the level that I do now. I didn't really know my value outside of the corporate world. And so when you're denying your worth, when you're denying your value, when you're denying love for yourself, that's what leads to that experience of feeling like you're going through this dark night of your soul. Come back into the moment, practice loving yourself. The easiest way to practice loving yourself is not denying love for yourself, being consciously aware of not denying love for yourself for any reason. Just because other people don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, maybe you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, don't deny love for yourself. Don't deny your own worthiness. Don't deny your value, even if you're on the journey of rediscovering the roles that you're here to play and the gifts that you have. Um, Guides and messengers. So, messengers, what's the difference is the question. Messengers are here bringing through messages from spirit. They may be bringing through messages from a loved one on the other side. They might be bringing messages through a collective. They might be bringing through animal communication, messages from animals, people who bring through messages from earth or elements in nature, people who are bringing through messages from angels or messages from different star families. I consider animal communicators, channels, mediums, um, people who are doing that type of work, or it may be someone who really likes to read and pick out the top messages in books and then speak about the messages that have been profound in their own awakening experience. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a channel, but you're really bringing through messages. Who, to me, a guide is the one that embodies all of this. You can bring through messages from higher levels of consciousness, but not truly embody it yourself and integrate it. To me, a guide is one who comes forth to live at the highest levels of what's possible and then guide people into those higher levels of consciousness, to walk from lower levels of consciousness into higher levels of consciousness. To me, a guide is ones that are really looking to live at those higher levels of vibration, consciousness, and leading the way. You may be stepping into a level of true creation that you've never seen anyone manifest or create in the way that you know and are being guided to do. Therefore, you are not only guided in that way, but you are then becoming the guide. Does everyone need to be here on purpose, or can they just or can they be here just to experience? We talk about this all the time in my master's class advanced program. We are here for expansion. We are here for expression, and we're here to have the experiences that we want to have. Some people feel very, very drawn to be in service, be part of this great awakening, feel like they have this greater purpose as part of helping humanity awaken, or play that role in the great awakening. And this message is really for you. If it doesn't resonate with you and you're here and it's really about the experience, that's absolutely perfect. There's no wrong way. This is just hopefully helpful for those who are gaining greater awareness on their gifts, their abilities, what role they're really here to play, why they feel called, why they feel like they have some greater mission or purpose in service of what's going on in the transformation of human consciousness. So hope that's helpful. If your partner isn't awakening and seem to be pulled back instead of moving into a higher, and you seem to be pulled back instead of moving into a higher vibration? Really good question. And I'm going to go back to love here. At this point, I can't even count on two hands. It would take me probably quite a while to give you a list or count the people in my family, my friends, former romantic partners, former employees, former coworkers, former clients, people in my community that I never, ever thought would awaken. And a lot of them happened very quickly and very spontaneously. And my highest guidance, whether it's a family member or a partner, is to love them. Don't deny love for yourself because they're in a different vibration. I talk a lot about vibrational resonance, whether you're conscious of it or not. When you when you walk into a room, for example, with someone else, you're at a particular vibration and they're at a particular vibration. And your vibrations are seeking to resonate, whether you're conscious of it or not. If you stay in love and you stay present and you stay in the moment, they are far more likely to come up to your vibration than if you go into judgment. If you go into judgment, you automatically entangle. If you're judging where they are, if you're judging where their vibration is, you almost automatically entangle with that lower vibration. So it's not really them that's pulling you back. It's your judgment of where they are that is entangling you in a lower vibration. Stay in your power, in your heart, in the moment, stay in love, and you will find that they may very easily move into a higher vibration with you. They may walk out of the room. They may all of a sudden get called to go do something else. You may get inspired to do something else. And you start to find that you interact with your partner more on a high vibrational level. You can see things changing, even if they don't use the same language. But we do that through love, not trying to change them or judging them. And you might have a moment where you judge them or judge where their vibration is or feel like they're holding you back. That's okay. Don't judge yourself for judging. That further entangles you. Just come back into the moment, take some deep conscious breaths, go from your head into your heart. Hope that's helpful. Okay, I'm going to bring the council through in just a moment, but I want to answer a question that I really enjoy. This question came recently to us, and I just think it's a really good question. In the readings and videos, it states repeatedly that one needs to raise or elevate one's consciousness, summon energy, Bring the energy or focus into the moment, come into realization, align with source energy, and get into a state of absolute knowing. It sounds great, but how do you actually do these things? What do you practice? What do you actually do? And I think this is a really great question. I think every single one of our courses, I certainly our master's class program, even our meditations and single sessions, they all are designed to help you raise your consciousness, to help you raise your vibration, to align with source energy. A lot of these things are the same thing. When I step into the highest level of consciousness and I really feel myself, I close my eyes, I take 3 deep breaths, I go from my head down into my heart. It is a place of absolute knowing. There aren't any questions. When I get ready to channel the counsel, as I'm going to do in just a moment, and I take those 3 breaths and I feel the counsel there, I'm in absolute knowing. I know it. I feel that alignment to source. I can feel my consciousness. So, a couple of things. We talk about the formula for creation. Consciousness moves energy into form. So when you raise your consciousness, you raise your awareness, you come into a higher perspective, you're aligned with love, you're in that place of pure love, you're in harmony, you're in the moment, you're present, you're automatically summoning more energy than if you were in a lower level of consciousness in fear or limitation or judgment or resistance. So this all happens together. These are all really similar things. I'm going to give you the tip, and I've said it a few times here. It works. It works for me every single time, but because it's easy, most people don't do it. They want something far more difficult. If you're even asking these questions, you're already moving into higher levels of consciousness. You're already aligning with source energy. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths in and out. In and out, in and out. And imagine yourself going down a staircase from your head that starts in your head and goes down into your heart. And imagine yourself stepping down, stepping down, stepping down into your heart. And when you get into your heart, just notice how that feels. You might notice that it's peaceful. You might feel a greater sense of ease or quiet or lightness. And in that moment, if you want to connect to source, what is source? What is it that you want to feel? What is it that you want to experience? Let's just say it's peace. Then go into your heart and align your heart to peace until you feel your heart is in peace. Once you feel your heart is in peace, expand that vibration, that feeling of peace into every cell of your body. Align every cell of your body to align with the feeling of peace. From the top of your head to the bottom of your feet and at your fingertips, align every cell of your body to the vibration, to the feeling of peace. And then expand that around you, 1 foot around you in every direction. And align every particle of infinite creation all around you to align with that feeling of peace. And just in this moment, feel into the peace, the presence, the oneness in this moment. Take some deep breaths. Feel into your heart. Feel into that expansion you've just created. And to me, this is the state that answers every single one of these questions here. And it's really easy to do. It can be done in 30 seconds. It can be done in 5 minutes. You can do it for 15 minutes if it feels good to you. But start to do this in your day and do it when things are good. Do it when you already feel good. Do it when you're out in nature. Do it when you first wake up in the morning. And not only will it be easy to do when you notice you're in a lower vibration or you're stuck in fear or limitation or judgment, you'll actually start to notice you don't have as many of those moments. The council tells us that they are bringing forth a vibrational experience of realigning you to that place within you where you can open to your own light. To me, healing, bringing through channeled activations or channeled messages, it's not about doing something to you. It's about you yourself, allowing yourself to open to the light that is you. And the more you do that, you'll just know you're in a higher vibration. You'll know you're summoning energy. You can feel it in your body. You'll know you're aligned with source. So, those are my favorite practices and tips and have completely changed and transformed my life, even though they are easy. And just catch yourself when you become consciously aware that you're in an unconscious thought at the moment. Just stop, take some deep breaths, go into your heart, be in the present moment, and it just becomes easier and easier to do those things. So, okay, I hope you guys found this helpful. I'm going to bring in the council now for a brief channeled message, and then we will wrap up this episode of the Journey of the Master podcast. I can't believe the time just flew by like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have never seen me channel, it's a very natural, normal thing. We all do it. When an athlete is in the zone or a musician is in the zone, they are fully allowing source energy, a higher vibration to flow through. It's a very natural thing. Some people just do it professionally and have practiced it for thousands and thousands of hours, like I do. You know, if you're at lunch with a friend and you just something comes out of your mouth and they say, "Wow, that was so amazing. What did you just say?" In that moment, you channel your higher self or their higher self or higher consciousness in that moment. It's just a very natural thing. If you're drawn to channeled information, which obviously you are, you wouldn't be here. You yourself are also a channel. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to verbally channel the council like I do, but it may be a ability or gift that you have that is yet to be rediscovered for you. So I'm going to close my eyes and take about 3 deep breaths. That's your opportunity to do the same. My eyes are closed when I channel. That just really helps me to focus because the council brings through so much information quite quickly. It's just a bit overwhelming to me with all when I open my eyes. So that's why I close my eyes. You're welcome to do so if you're not driving and it feels good to you. And we'll conclude after the council is complete. So here we go. We are so pleased and delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you all on this fine and glorious day indeed. We remind you that while our words to you are important, this is a vibrational experience of remembering the truth of who you really are, why you are here, and all that you intended when you chose this magnificent life experience. Because we assure you, your life is meant to be so very magnificent indeed. You are on an extraordinary adventure through consciousness into the absolute knowing of all that you are and the power that you have. You are here during the greatest transformation of human consciousness that has ever occurred in any lifetime. You first went through your own awakening experiences, and then you came into the knowing of the love and the light that you are to embody that vibration, that frequency on the planet at this time. You will begin to notice that people have awakening experiences just by being in your presence. You will begin to notice a greater peace in your own being. You are here of your own choosing. You said, "Pick me, I will go." And you answered the call to come forth into the human experience at this time because it is the best thing going on anywhere. We assure you, you are here for expansion. You are here for the expansion of consciousness. You are here for your own expansion. Every experience you have provides data and information that leads to your expansion. It expands all of you. It expands all that is possible within the human experience. It expands the potentials and the possibilities through your own experience of all that you are. When you feel stuck, when you feel a lack of clarity, it is often because you are not allowing yourself to go with your expansion. It may feel uncomfortable. You may not know where it's leading. You may not know how you're going to get from where you are to where you want to be. But you allowing yourself to go with your expansion will lead you to the greatest joy, the greatest harmony, the greatest love, the greatest well being, and the greatest abundance in your human experience. You are here to express all that you are, all that you know yourself to be, and all that you discover and rediscover as you open fully to the real you and allow yourself, through your acceptance and approval and understanding of yourself, to be the powerful, sovereign, divine, eternal being of love and light that you are, allowing yourself to speak your truth from your heart. Truth is always aligned with love. And you may discover that the greatest expression of all that you are may not mean you say anything at all. It may be being in your power in the moment, unwavering in the love that you are, bringing a presence and a peace and a harmony to any and all situations. Thirdly, you are here to choose the experiences that you want to have for you. You are a powerful creator of your reality. You create your reality the way you wish it to be. You are here to choose the experiences that you want to have for you, just like a grand adventure or a vacation of a lifetime. You are here to explore all the potentials and the possibilities that are in this human experience and then choose that which you want to experience. You are not all drawn to the same things. You don't all want to have the same experiences, but the desire for experiences comes forth from your soul for the very purpose of your expansion. As you allow expansion, you allow your experiences, you allow greater expression. As you allow greater expression, you allow greater expansion into greater experiences. They are all beautifully interwoven in your perfection. And there is a part of you that knows that everything you wish to be, you already are. And there is a part of you that knows how beautiful this journey is to becoming all that you are. It is a grand adventure. You are here during the greatest time, during the great awakening, stepping into the greatness of all that you are. We are always with you. We are always available to you. We love you. We love you. We love you. And with that, we are complete. Thank you all for being here for the Journey of the Master podcast. You can find many more free resources at saralandon.com. We have a free daily quote you can subscribe to. We provide free resources under the free resources tab, as well as a free gift to our Grander Perspective series with the council. And you can find many other YouTube videos here on our channel, Sara Landon Life. Please subscribe, as well as the Journey of the Master podcast, also available on podcast platforms. So thank you to my amazing team that makes this all possible. Thank you to our beautiful community. Have a wonderful, beautiful, amazing rest of your day. Bye, everybody.